It is 5:30, and you guys know I like to be prompt. I would like to thank Hal for organizing this Ustream event for us. Thank you, Hal.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, this is, just for the recording's sake, this is artist Tara Reid, and this is an unusual version of the Art Licensing Monthly Ask Call. We decided that it was going to be a little easier to talk to you about managing your data and showing you the software if you could actually see it, and we weren't trying to verbally explain it to you. So that's how we ended up here on Ustream today. Somebody can't hear. Do you have the sound on your computer? Shouldn't it automatically, shouldn't they be able to hear us if they're logged onto your site, Hal?
Yeah, it should automatically play. First thing to check is to check the volume on your computer. And then secondly, right below the video, there should be a volume control there. You may want to try, I think by default it's at 50%, and you could slide that all the way up to make it louder.
Yes, the person is signed into Ustream. UC4SU. Okay, hopefully you can get that figured out. Well, today we are going to talk to you about the kind of data you are going to have or do have when you're working in art licensing and how to manage it. It has been a 7-year project for me of asking everyone who will stop in a trade show aisle or wherever, saying, how are you organizing this stuff? How are you keeping track? How are you keeping track? Oh, that's true. If she can't hear me, she can't hear suggestions. How? That's funny. Okay.
I'll type something. I'll say we're recording it.
Okay. Okay, one moment, everyone. She's not muted. Okay. All right, bear with us, everyone. Our first gremlin. This is going to be our only one. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I ended up with FileMaker and this system. But first I want to introduce Hal. You can see his face on the website where you may have asked a question, or on this Ustream right here. And so, Hal, do you want to tell them a little bit of your background and how you ended up partnered up with me on this little project?
I would love to. My name's Hal Gumbert, and I am a database developer. We also develop applications. We use 2 different products. One product is FileMaker, FileMaker Pro, and we use another product called RealBasic. But with the Art Licensing Manager, we chose to use FileMaker for the fast development time. We are certified developers. We've been certified in every certification that FileMaker's offered. They started certification with version 7. So we're certified for version 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, and we hope to continue that. We've been working with FileMaker since version 3, since around 1992 or so, and we build databases for small businesses. So for a small business may come to us and say, we're having trouble organizing our data, and we'll take a look at the requirements, build a database, demo it, and then back and forth we'll add features as time goes on. But generally we just try to help people with their data.
Yep. And Hal, I didn't tell you I was going to rat you out on this, but when I first started talking to him about what I needed personally, I told him, I said, you know, and my vision is to be able to offer this to other people, because there's a lot of other artists like me who are in the business of art licensing, have the same types of data to organize. They need to organize it, so why should we all recreate the wheel? And he kind of did the old, yeah, I've heard this before, I'm not so sure. And I don't think he believed me for a minute until...
It's very true.
Yes, no.
We have a lot of people
Isn't that
say
true?
that, and nothing comes of it. And this was a beautiful experience.
Okay, good. Yeah, I mean, I thought about that and trying to keep it really flexible as we were building it, too. So let's talk, well, I'm going to start by talking a little bit about data, what kinds of data we have. The main question that we received from people was, what is this software and how does it work? So that's what we're going to be answering throughout the hour. And I came up with an interesting bike analogy, like bicycle ride around, when I was talking to Hal yesterday and we were reviewing. And I said, there are all kinds of bikes because there's all kinds of ways to organize data. You're going to have the kinds of data that I have, and I've been organizing it in all kinds of different ways from the beginning of my business until now. Just like there are many, many levels of bicycles that you can buy. You can go to a garage sale or, to a low-end, not low-end, a mass merchandiser, shall we say. You can go to Target or Walmart or Kmart and you can get a bike for $50, $90. And it's going to have two wheels, it's going to have a chain, it's going to have seats, it's going to have handlebars, and you will be able to move from point A to point B. I used to use index cards to organize my data, and it held my data, and it worked for a little while, and then it didn't move me properly. Just like you wouldn't take a bike that you bought for $90 to the Alps and do a month-long, Alp adventure on your bike because you're just not going to move the way you want to, your index file system might not be the best for you for the length of your business. As your business grows, whether it's art licensing or any, art licensing plus other art type things, you're going to need to have more sophisticated systems to organize your data, and you want to have them kind of integrated. That was another issue. I moved from index cards to Excel spreadsheets, and so I had a lot of data, but I couldn't sort the data because I didn't really know what I was doing super well, and it wasn't really talking to each other, so it was very cumbersome for me to relate the information, to go in and quickly see what was going on with my business to make decisions. And we're going to talk about how that works. So what this software is it is not a $90 bicycle. It's not a $5,000 bicycle. This is like the bicycle for the person that knows they're going to be licensing or knows they are really in business and have data to track around their art. So maybe it's the $1,000 to $2,000 bicycle, to finish my bicycle analogy. Mm-hmm. Would you say that's where we price our bicycle, Hal?
That would be nice.
Okay, yeah. Well, we're not pricing this there. But, we could make this even stronger and more robust, and there are programs out there for licensing that are designed more for people like Disney, and they're, $10,000, $20,000. So we're not there, but we're at a good level for functionality and price for artists, I believe. One question that we got from Beth, and I'm going to start with this, and then I'm going to talk about the actual data that this is going to track. Beth asked, in order to keep track of revenue by design or by image, you obviously need an itemized list from manufacturers that carry more than one design. True, Beth, very true. So Beth works through an agent and apparently doesn't receive that much information. And so she wanted to know if manufacturers always provide that detailed information. I'm my own agent, so I get the reports directly from the manufacturer, and I do receive that level of detail. Sometimes I have to use a decoder ring to figure out what it is. Like I make an Excel sheet and I correlate a manufacturer's SKU number, perhaps, with my art collection code so that I don't have to think about it every time. But I do get lists that break it down by design. So if you are working through an agent, you can ask them if maybe they can give you copies of exactly what they're getting from the manufacturer. That's kind of something that you're going to need to work out with them because they would each have their own system. And maybe they're not used to artists wanting to have that level of information. So what we've done with this software is we looked at everything that I wanted to track and that the average artist is going to want to track and what needs to connect. So it's divided into two sections. We can track the art, which we called collections on the tab, and we can track the people or the licensees. Right now we're looking, okay, so you click to the collection page. We'll talk about that. First, and this, remember, is designed the way I create art, but it's also going to be flexible, so you should be able to manipulate it to the way you create art.
Tara, did you want to start on the home page?
Yeah, let's go back there real quick.
I jumped ahead, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay. Well, you were just listening to what I was saying. So this is the home page. So whenever you launch the software, this is where you're going to go first. And what I wanted to say about this page was, if you notice under the bubble with the art licensing girl, there on the left, there is contracts expiring, and it shows you the company's end a contract date. And that is important because some of your contracts, some of your art licensing contracts, and it seems to be more and more standard, are going to auto-renew if you do nothing. So when you do your original contract, it might be a 2-year contract, and then it might have a clause that says auto-renews in 1-year increments if there is no written notification 30 or 60 days before the end of the contract. So if you are not aware of when your contracts are going to be expired and when they need to be renewed or terminated, you could auto-renew into contracts you want to cancel for a year just because you missed that date. And it's happened to me before. You want to know to make that decision. Like, you want to know, okay, this one is going to auto-renew in December if I don't send them a letter by November. So in October, you should be looking at that licensee. Am I making money with them? Is there somebody else I would rather be licensing with? Is it good? Am I enjoying working with them? Are we still a good fit, etc.? So that is an important piece to watch your contract. Now, Hal, if you could go back to the collection page.
Right. Well, I was going to say one more thing on that is that throughout the database, you'll notice to the left of the licensees, there's a blue rectangle with a triangle in it. That's like a go-to button. So if we were to click this button, it would go to the licensee wrapping paper company for the first button. The second button would go to the greeting card company. It's just a real fast, easy way to get around. You wouldn't have to go over to the licensees, do a find, type in greeting card company, and to find them. Just with one click of a mouse, you could just bring up that information immediately.
Okay, good point. Thank you. That's why we have the organizer on here too. So now we're going to go to the collections tab, which also can mean art, just however you want to think about it. I design art and collections, and I'm organizing my data by collection, but you can make this database work by image. So, or if you're a photographer, it can be per picture. So however you want to enter your data is perfectly fine. First, we have the general information. So the name, either the name of your collection or the name of your image. You can put it into a category. And you're defining all of these things. Like, I've defined categories by Christmas, Halloween, other holidays, drinks, food. Those are the different themes that I create in. And so you're just entering things there. It's not that they're preset. Then the third, and that shows you just kind of it'll do a pull down once you type something in. So it's not that they're preset when you get this software.
Every time you I'm sorry, Tara. I was going to say, every time you enter in a new value, like for instance in the category field, it'll add that to the list. So you'll be able to just simply choose it in the future.
Right. And somebody just texted, I can't talk and chat as well, that it's a little blurry. It is. We're doing the best that we can, but you will be able to get a trial copy of the software that you can play with when this is over, and it won't be blurry for you. And so it's a free trial. You can enter, up to 8 collections, up to 8 licensees, see how everything's connecting, see how it's going to work for you. So bear with us on the blurry. We're doing what we can on here. Okay, so you have your general stuff, and you can kind of decide if you need category to mean something else to you, that's perfectly fine. Then copyright. It's really important to copyright your art and to keep track of the fact that you've submitted your copyright,